Yeah, there's a guy gonna.
Yeah, we can control it.
That's like saying, like the construction industry is fairly food centric. Yeah, no shit.
Whoop.
There's a guy gonna bring his wife out or something.
Yeah, Fitz. Yeah, Fitz gonna bring, his wife's gonna come tomorrow. What was I gonna say? I was gonna say something.
You have 1 minute. You have less than 1 minute.
Okay.
I'm probably gonna bail for all of your show.
Okay, dude.
I love you. It's nothing personal.
I understand. I totally get it, man.
Whatever. Nothing you said or will say.
That's okay. That's okay.
I went.
I'm just keeping you posted.
I was going for more arch on that one. Maybe tall.
There's a lot of activity in the shop today, you guys. Oh, mercy.
I thought you did a better job dusting off. I think I do this too much during the day, and I just mash it all in.
Just mush it in there.
Yeah.
Hey, Jay. Hey, Terry. Hey, Lefty. All right. Dan, Tazzy, Tim, 3J. All right. Hey, everybody. It's Matt, and we're at Texas Toast Guitars. And let me tell you something, Chris.
Okay.
When I have the opportunity to get tired, I get tired.
Mm-hmm.
Like all week, I haven't had the opportunity to get tired.
Sometimes I think, like on Thursdays, we stop a little too early and get ready for the live stream. And
Not
then
today.
You get a little tired.
Well,
Yeah,
you've
not
kind of
today.
spearheaded the action today.
Uh-huh.
So I'm like, well, okay, I'm just gonna sit here and listen for my name, and whatever you need me to do, I'll do. But if there's not a lot, then I just kind of sit around and get sleepy.
So did you get sleepy today?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
okay.
I have to rally.
Okay. Well, rally then.
I'm trying. Everyone's coming over to my house.
What
later
helps you
tonight,
rally?
so I don't
on
know.
this shirt stabbing me in the back of the neck.
Sorry. Thanks a lot, Stu Mac. So we are at the end of Thursday, so day 4 of the SG build workshop, and everybody's right on schedule. So we got nuts are like roughed in.
Yep.
You guys got all the plastic done, so like pick guards and control cavity covers and truss rod covers.
Yep. Tuners are on. Bridges are in.
Yep.
We have pickups are ready to install.
Yeah. Like
we
you
have
put
a lot
the
of
rings.
electronic stuff to do in the morning, and then the kicker. And really, it's only a kicker for. It's not a kicker. It's good.
Well, what were you going to say, just in case?
So we ordered something on Monday.
Oh, yeah.
3-day delivery, and it's going to come tomorrow.
Yeah.
Which is 4-day delivery.
Yeah,
we ordered it early enough in the day that
really more like
should have left.
4-day delivery. Here comes Dave. Hi, Dave.
Hi, everybody.
So, thank you. Thank you so much. Cold.
That's a good-looking shirt, Dave.
Hey, Dave, that is a fine-looking shirt.
Where'd you get that good-looking shirt?
I got it at TexasToast.com.
So, Dave, you just went to the merch page and just got right on there. And how long did it take to get those, sir?
6 days.
Nice.
And I know Dan got his even shorter up in Canada, so I don't know what the deal is.
Maybe they're in Canada. Tazzy Tim sent us a super chat and says, "Good morning, toasters. Let's get it on."
You look like a giant, Dave.
There's
Dave. Everybody likes Dave. Everybody knows Dave.
Brian Duncan sent us a super chat and says, "Good morning from Australia." Thank you, Brian. Curtis says that he was not completely surprised that the Harmony sold within the first few days. Congratulations. So you want to tell everybody what happened with those dudes, Chris?
Yeah. So the 2 Harmonies in back of me, they built those this year over the course of 6 or 8 months, and took them home and wanted to sell one of them, and decided that I didn't really care which one sold. I liked them both. Okay. So I brought them both in. We put them both on the web, and I said, whichever one sells first, I'll keep the other one. Dave came in on Monday and was looking at them and said, well, which one do you like better, Chris? And I said, well, I like them both the same. He said, well, you need to pick one. I said, why do I need to pick one? And he said, because I bought the other.
Well, that's kind of what it was, but it was
More or
way more
less.
wishy-washy than that.
Well, yeah, on my part,
Yeah.
it was way more wishy-washy.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, I kind of like this one. Yeah. So that's me right now. It is, yeah. And so anyway, so Dave bought the Sunburst one.
Mhm.
That one.
Now that is, we were actually, Joy and I were looking at pictures of Richie Valins last night, and she was like, I really like that Donna song.
Uh-huh.
And then so she starts listening to it, and she's like, what guitar do you suppose he had? And I'm like, I think he had one of those harmonies.
Yeah, his was an H44.
Yeah.
Which was a even earlier model than those.
Yeah.
Even less of a guitar. So no truss rod. I don't even
Masonite,
know that it even had
top
reinforcement.
Okay.
Not even, no adjustable truss rod, no metal truss rod, I don't think, in those. Big slab neck,
Yeah.
Little tiny body. Yeah, same style pickups though. And he played that for most of that stuff.
So he died when he was 17.
Yeah.
Woo.
Yep.
That's awfully young
Just
to be yeah. Okay, I always say this. I'm not trying to be irreverent here, but we never had to see the Richie Valens Pepsi commercial or the live from Las Vegas review or the Richie Valens comedy hour or any of that stuff. Richie Valens on the Scooby-Doo show or on the episode of Gilligan's Island or anything like that.
His guest spot on Chico and the Man.
Yeah, we never had to see that. So he was cool.
Yeah.
He's always going to be cool.
Yeah, those guys always remain cool because they never did any of that.
Yeah.
We all have embarrassing things.
Yeah.
From the 80s and 90s.
We never had to hear the Richie Valens, "We built this city," whatever that would have been. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah. My new record. Yeah. There's some more modern stuff on this. That means disco at one point. So yeah.
Dave sent us a super chat and says Yahoo for ad free. Brian, So we have a great group of guys in the shop this week.
We do.
Joe and RJ and of course Dave and Tim, and you're going to get to see what they make tomorrow when we have everybody's guitar on display.
Yeah.
We are building. Okay, we had two people who unfortunately couldn't make it.
And they were coming together.
Yeah.
So it wasn't two separate cancellations.
No. So we're building one of the guitars for them.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the guitars, they just said, "Hey, can I have a Challenger?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah, I love the Challenger. Of course you can have a Challenger."
Sure.
So we're building them.
So we're building
Challenger.
one class guitar and one Challenger for
them.
Not at the same time.
Nope. So anyway, that will be cool. Everyone's going to come over to my place tonight for we're going to have pizza and drinks. And my dog will jump all over you and it'll be fun. You should come too, Chris. You should see if Dina wants to come over. You want to do that?
I'll check.
Oh,
I mean, I'm pretty
or I know.
Or just send Dina.
Yeah.
Hey, Chris, does Dina want to come over?
Yeah. So anyhow,
Mr. Hill.
So there's a lot of stuff going on in the world today, Chris. We got a new pope.
Yes.
Now, that's right. Now, as you know, I am a complete pizza snob now, and I have no reason to be. And I but I'm all about Chicago pizza. I'm all about it.
All right.
And so the Pope is from the Chicagoland area. And you know what? I also love Chicago hot dogs. I like everything about the food. If I lived in Chicago, I would weigh 300 pounds like in the first 2 weeks, or I'd have a heart attack.
We have a heart attack.
Yeah. So that's a new thing, and we've already seen the Pope, and he's got a beef sandwich, and he's like baptizing it in the gravy or whatever they call it. I see. I don't have any. I can't really be a Chicago food snob, but I am. I love it.
You need to spend a little more time there, and each time that you go, you get a little more snobby.
I do.
The only snobby thing you have to to do is just be like, you can't believe that people don't know about this stuff, even though you didn't know about it before that last
So my
trip.
current level
What are you
of
talking about?
my current level of food snobbery is I'm this guy. Yeah, you can't get that anywhere else. I'm that guy. I hate that I'm that guy, but I'm that guy.
All right.
So anyway,
You need to pretend like every single human being was born with
Mm-hmm.
the food knowledge you have
yeah,
on that day.
yeah.
Even if the thing you're being snobby about, you just learned about yesterday.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it.
All right. So I just wanted to make that quick Pope reference, and congratulations to Pope Leo the 14th.
Yep.
All right. So
I'm guaranteeing a Bears Super Bowl win this year.
okay. Well, we're gonna see. So let's get back to the let's try it with a little more reverence. Curtis Chavez says, Matt and Chris, why do people tend to gravitate to single pickup guitars with either a bridge or neck pickup? I can't remember seeing a modern custom guitar with a single middle pickup. Now, that's an intriguing one. So, Chris, do you know what today's topic is?
No.
How to completely revolutionize the guitar industry.
Okay.
A little bit tongue in cheek, but let's take Curtis's question real quick. Why do you think that there are so many single pickup guitars? And generally speaking, they're never in the middle position.
Correct. Well, there's very few middle position pickups in the overall scheme of things. I mean, Strats are always that way.
Mm-hmm.
Occasionally a Les Paul, occasionally an SG.
Mm-hmm.
Super Strats always have a middle pickup, but overall, most guitars either have one pickup or two pickups. Two pickups are the most common.
Yeah.
So
and
why
I don't
no
know why that
position?
is. Frankly.
I don't know. So there's been, in the early days, the guitars all had a pickup in the neck position.
Mm-hmm.
Charlie Christian kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's because they were mostly using that instrument as a rhythm guitar.
And then, of course, in the 80s, one pickup, maybe in the 70s too, a single pickup in the bridge position with as few controls as possible was wildly popular.
And that screams lead guitar.
Yeah. Yeah.
And why would you need a rhythm pickup if you never play rhythm?
Yeah. Why would you need any frets toward the headstock of the 15th fret?
Yeah. If you're always above the 12th. Yeah.
Yeah. It'd be sort of like, so Joe and I were talking about that this week, and he's like, it'd be the opposite of your bass. So yeah, like my bass, the band that I should be in is like, I only play on the first 5 frets of the bass, and the guitar player should only play on like 15 and up frets. That should only be, and we could make kooky guitars and basses that I already have the bass. So
Yeah, that'd be a good time.
Brett, I know that you're probably not watching now, but if you start watching this later, let me know if you want a guitar with no frets until the 15th fret, and then it's just the solo guitar.
I could maybe get away with a guitar that had frets from the 9th up to the 22nd. Maybe do that.
You gotta have 12 so you can intonate.
What? Intonate what?
Intonate?
Well, no, we'll have 24 frets at
It's
least, and we can intonate
Oh,
there.
Intonate to the 22nd fret. Yeah, great idea.
Tezzy Tim says, my TTG shirt and bandana only took 12 days to get to him in Australia, and the delivery was free. That's remarkable.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
Let me tell you how much money we made on the shirts that Tazzy Tim got. Zero money.
No, you're
First
good.
of all, you have to.
Hey, look, a shame.
Hey, shameless plug from Dave.
Wow, that is also a great looking shirt.
You can get it
Dave.
at Texas.
You really need to have some like used car stuff happening.
Hi, everybody.
So thank you, Dave. Okay, but why do you never see just a pickup in the middle? I remember there was that, what was it, Washburn that had the Slido pickup-o thing, or I think it was on a bass though.
Yeah.
I don't remember it was a guitar, but
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it would be really great. Maybe it would be the best of both worlds. Maybe it would be the worst of both worlds.
Maybe it would be the best, or maybe it would be neither hot nor cold, and you spit it out like lukewarm water, right?
Yeah,
or whatever that.
So I've recently discovered that one of my favorite positions on a Strat is actually the middle pickup, all on its own.
Okay.
Which for a long time I didn't think was a thing.
Would you like to
it
make a
is.
Strat with like a pick guard with one pickup in the middle, and like the pick guard would have no other things, but that wouldn't be routed for any other thing either. It would just be I'll just load. Oh, wah wah. You can't load the other pickups later.
Yeah, that would be fun. But all the knobs still.
All the knobs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Two tones.
So I think the reason that you don't see a middle pickup all the time is because when your pick hand, the pick hits the pickup and there it goes. Yeah.
That is an issue.
So it's a complete
for some
catastrophe.
things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Curtis says, I never hit and pickups, pick guards, nor knobs. Oh, okay. He's talking with somebody else in the thing. So, do you think single pickup guitars are cool?
Yes, I do.
I do too.
For one thing,
yeah.
I sometimes think fewer choices is better.
Okay.
And a single pickup guitar, you have a volume knob. You can make some adjustments there. You maybe have a tone knob. You can make some adjustments. That's it.
Yeah.
See you, Tim.
See ya.
Bye, Tim.
Bye, Tim. See you guys tomorrow.
So there's less. So you find a sound that you dig, you run with it. Right?
I was
like Leslie West. Great sound. Why would you want any other sound?
You don't. Yeah,
that's the sound.
Quite frankly, any other sound is
hey, Leslie,
wholly unnecessary.
How's it going to sound on this song?
You want to
think it's going to sound?
Yeah, you want to
sound like
you want to add some delay?
Yeah.
No, why would I do that?
Yeah. Yeah. Do you like Mississippi Queen? Well, yeah. I'm human.
Yeah. I'm a dude.
Why would I not like Mississippi Queen?
Okay, just real quick. Okay, Mississippi Queen or Nantucket Sleigh Ride?
Well, I'm more familiar with Mississippi Queen. I mean, Nantucket Sleigh Ride's a good song.
I think that Mississippi Queen is still the my go-to, but I love Nantucket Sleigh Ride. And some of the guitar in that is just like so excellent.
Yeah.
It's so excellent.
Stuff, it's really fun to just go on like a Mississippi Queen wormhole.
Yeah.
Just watch all the Leslie West through all the years playing that song. And it's like, shit, it never sounds bad.
It's never not cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Doesn't matter. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
big Leslie, skinny Leslie, all good.
I heard Tom Morello. I saw like a YouTube short that he was talking about this guitar that he had built that he hated.
Okay.
And he said, he said the problem was that he got to pick everything.
Uh-huh.
And as a non-guitar builder, his words, not mine, but I can totally understand this. He picked the dumbest stuff. He's like, I don't know. I didn't even know why it wasn't going to work, but I picked it because I had the freedom to pick all this stuff. But he said, I'm not a guitar maker, so I picked all this stupid shit. And so he's like, okay, what I'm going to do is he started he put a different neck on it and he put different pickups and a different blah, blah, blah. So it wound up being, a super strat. And he's like, okay, this is just going to be my guitar. And rather than chase after tones, I'm just going to embrace what I have.
Okay.
And I'm going to make the best of what I have.
Okay.
That might be a way to completely revolutionize the guitar industry right there, frankly. Embrace the sound that you have and just practice more. But that's no fun.
I think there are people that have done that.
Such as?
Well, just in general. I mean, you get a guitar, you play it, you finally decide that you like the sound of that guitar, or you always like the sound, but all of a sudden it becomes your signature sound or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think,
or your signature look.
That could be a thing too. Yeah.
Angus Young is never going to play a Challenger.
No.
I mean, it would be cool if he did, but he's never going to come and buy one and go, all right, this is my new guitar.
Yeah, this is it. Yeah. Yeah.
Slash is never going to play a Challenger and have it be like his main guitar. You don't want to say they'll never play
never
one,
say never, man.
But
yeah,
I mean, because he's got other stuff too. But the fact of the matter is that guitar is synonymous with those guys. Those guitars are synonymous. Yeah.
So I like the idea that Tom Morello decided he was going to do all this crazy stuff, and probably the idea in his head was, nobody's ever done this. I wonder why.
Yeah.
And the real answer is they've already done it, and there's a reason why.
Yeah.
They don't do it.
Well, so that segues perfectly into how to completely revolutionize the guitar industry. Chris, you and I see it 100 times a year.
Once a month at least.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Half a dozen times every month at least.
Okay.
I remember when I went to Roberto Venn, me and every other guy there were convinced that we were going to revolutionize the guitar building landscape.
Well, you're a smart guy. He's a smart guy.
Well,
you know guitars. Why not?
Sure. I'm 18. I can absolutely do. I'm smarter than
roll the palm of my hands,
Leo Fender and Ted McCarty and Paul Reed Smith. That's
I don't
what
know
I
why they're
thought
doing
at
it
the
that
time.
way.
Yeah. So you're not smarter than those guys. Neither am I. But we collectively are not smarter than those guys. But how would you go about completely revolutionizing the guitar building world, Chris? I have one for you.
Okay, good.
Stop making stuff that nobody wants. Now, and Gibson, I'm talking to you. Now, I've said this for the last decade. Gibson should make 3 guitars.
Okay.
They should make the Les Paul, the SG, and you pick the other one, but that's
335.
it. 335.
They
Sure.
sell a lot of 335.
Okay. And that's it. And everything else should be an Epiphone. Oh, the Modern. So no, they shouldn't make the Modern. Yeah. So
Go, well, what about Flying V?
yeah. What about Flame?
Explorers?
Sorry, those are now some other thing.
Yeah.
Here's the other thing. All those guitars should cost the starting price for all those guitars should be $10,000.
Okay.
Now, imagine if you did that. Now, this is not going to happen. Don't worry. I'm not the new CEO of Gibson, so you don't have to worry about this happening. But if you did that, in that one instance, owning that guitar would all of a sudden mean something again. You know, remember when owning a Gibson meant something? Remember when owning a Fender meant something? Remember when owning a Paul Reed Smith meant something? And it wasn't like, oh, which one do you have? The one that's made in some nation that has a K in it, or ends in Stan. If the guitars were really expensive and really cool and really exclusive, it would mean something again, at the very, very least. Everybody would be pissed off about it, but it would mean something to own one.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Yeah. Well, that was I'm old enough to remember when all the Fenders were made in America.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden they started making some in Mexico, and
that was a big deal. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think they'd actually imported some stuff from Korea before that too.
Okay.
But for the most part, you wanted an American Fender.
Yep.
And there were people that said, it's not really a Fender unless it's made in California by Americans.
There are still people who say that.
But there's a lot fewer now.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit of a status thing, but it's more accepted.
Yeah.
So, and, Gibson, to their credit, have done a fairly decent job. I mean, everything that says Gibson on it is made in America. I have some, is it really, but assembled in America? Can we say that?
Well, legally, they can say made in USA on them. Now, whether or not you agree with the legal definition of made in
I
USA,
don't know.
I don't know either.
I've spent time in other industries where there was some kind of shady, some half of it this way and half of it that way. And some of that still happens. But for the most part,
Monkey Plus or Money
in America.
Monkeys Plus said, "What about Les Paul Jr.?" I know, I love that guitar, but I don't know how many they sell. I just don't.
Yeah. Well, and thankfully, none of this will happen.
Yeah. Again, I'm not the new CEO of Gibson.
Not this week.
No, not ever. Can you imagine what sort of of bad reality would happen if I was all of a sudden the CEO of Gibson. I could snap my fingers and like make all these sweeping changes. That would be terrible for
That'd be rad because
the world would come to an end.
There'd be a bunch of people watching every single old video and
Mhm.
calling you out on
Oh,
every
yeah.
single
Yeah.
goofy thing.
Every
you've
single
ever
dumb
said.
thing I've ever done.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, look
And there's a
at it.
lot.
Yeah, yeah. There'd be memes of you like at the guitar show. I'm drunk.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah.
though
That
you
would
weren't. But that would be number one. And I'd probably be the one that sent that one.
Yeah. You'd be the one. Yeah.
I'd be the one that put that one out. But yeah, it would just be like, oh my gosh.
That-
like when Mark Agnesi.
Oh yeah.
And just people were calling out every.
Oh yeah. It was
video
bad.
Ever. Yeah.
But anyway, but here's what that sweeping change would do. It would make owning that guitar truly mean something again.
Well, it'd be
So-
like a supercar. All of a sudden, yeah.
Well, yeah.
Only some people could have one.
Now you and I know guys who are small builders,
Uh-huh.
very, very exclusive,
Mm-hmm.
very, very expensive.
Mm-hmm.
And it means something if you own one.
Right.
Whether you like the guitar or not, it definitely means that like you had the juice enough to, well, at least pay for one, but more you had to go find one. All right. Another dumb Matt story.
Okay.
Uncle Matt story. Back in 1989, when I bought my first Paul Reed Smith,
Uh-huh.
You couldn't just go get one. I had to drive 8 hours to like actually find one. Now you can go, I don't know, the closest guitar store probably has something that at least says PRS on it somehow, whether it's an American made one. But back in those days, they were all handmade. They were all made in the United States, and there weren't very many of them. You had to go to it. There was only
wanted it bad enough that you were willing to drive 8 hours.
and
for it.
and you know what? And by God, it meant something to have a Paul. Nobody said, "Oh, do you have the import one?" Because there wasn't an import one. Now they weren't $10,000, but you know what I mean. It wasn't an inexpensive instrument.
Yeah, it was not.
Mm-hmm.
Got extra money from my lunch account.
Yes, my lunch.
Yeah, whatever.
That sounded funny.
Yeah, whatever. However you came up with a little bit of extra money
Yeah.
one day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There were more cans in my recyclables.
People
than
sent
I
me
thought.
people sent me a bunch of money for graduation because everybody was convinced I was going to flunk. So yeah, hey, congratulations, man.
Wow, way to go! Here's more money
Yep.
We're just going to give you the money that we think you're going to get at college or for graduating college now.
So yeah, but I had to drive to Dallas to find one. It's a known thing now.
Mm-hmm.
But back
Dallas?
then, no, the Paul Reed Smith and being able to go anywhere and get a Paul Reed Smith,
Right.
they're ubiquitous,
Mhm.
and more power to them. You know what I mean? They're the third biggest electric guitar maker in the United States. But back then, 36 years ago, you had to go find one.
Yeah.
Same with some of those other guitars that like there's no eBay, so you couldn't go, oh, I want a Hamer special. You
Right.
had to find one. You had to call around, or you had to like, oh, I see
Yeah.
there's one in a magazine. For those of you watching who might not remember this, if you wanted some of those guitars and they didn't have one, or if there was something really, really cool and that was in your town, it was a special thing. Another Uncle Matt story. In Amarillo, Texas, at Randy's Music Mart, they had, among other things, they had a Hamer Steve Stevens, which was so cool. And they also had one of the Gibson Moderns made in 1982, 83. I happen to know there was less than 250 of those made. I couldn't tell you where the other 249 of them or how 216 of them are, but I know where one was. Now, can you imagine if you saw that and you're like, I got to get that? Oh, we sold that just right before you walked in the door, Chris. Can you get another one? Well, no, they only made 213 of them. Well, how do I get another one then? Oh, I don't know, buddy. You're out of luck. So what would you imagine what you would have done back then, and how much more fun it would have been to like the chase is suddenly on. You want one? They didn't sell, so
Well,
yeah.
I wonder. that's kind of an interesting point. There are lots of music shops
Mhm.
that kept an awful lot of stuff that is now really, really cool.
Uh-huh.
And you got to think the owner knew something. They
Yeah.
didn't bring in the modern going, I think somebody's going to buy this. They brought it in because the owner's like, I can bring this in and it won't really sting to pay for it. And someday it'll be worth something probably.
Okay,
And it's
so
a conversation piece. But
so now
anyway.
I have a question for you, and then Dave's gonna
Good.
make an appearance, and
Okay.
I gotta take a quick thing from Butch.
Okay.
But so I want you to think about this. What if the most complete revolutionizing of the guitar landscape was lots of cool, different stuff, not just a bunch of Strats and Les Pauls and Paul Reed Smiths? Okay, ready, go. Sir David. Hey, that's a good looking shirt too.
Hey, look at this shirt.
I was wearing a shirt like that when we were in Austin, Texas. At Chris, where did we go to when we were at that cuckoo bar that has the great jukebox and the like crazy crap on the wall? Casino El Camino. Yeah, super cool name, super cool bar. And I had that shirt on, and Jim had that shirt on. Mine was on the front or back, and Jim's was on the back or front. And there we had two different logos so we could show off all the different
Right.
and you could get a picture of both logos if we were walking towards you or away from you. So yeah, very cool.
That is all. You may go.
That's not cool.
Yeah, well, he works cheap.
He does work cheap.
And he brings his own clothes.
Butch says, where can I get
supply the t-shirts?
Butch says, where can I get black Kingwood fretboards? First of all, Butch, I call them black Kingwood, but I don't think anybody else calls them that. I think they call
Don't
it
go searching for
African Blackwood or some other kind of thing. Stuart McDonald has it.
that.
You know what it is?
They may be the only ones that have it too.
They might
that
be.
That was like a real thing.
Yeah.
And we knew who previously had it, and we now know
Yeah, that's right.
how they have it, and they have it.
But is it just something that's died?
It's not dyed, Brian. It's
Torrefied.
torrefied. Now there was a time when I thought it was roasted granadillo.
Yeah, because Dan at Tonewood Experts
Had some roasted granadillo,
and they were using it as a quality ebony substitute.
and it was jet black.
Jet black, and we
Super
never got
cool.
any, and we assumed because somebody else bought it all
Yep.
up from that.
And that's what Dan said, that Gibson bought it all from him, or maybe
Okay,
it wasn't.
cool.
Yeah.
So the next time we saw wood similar to that, we're like, well,
Yep.
that has to be the same as
Yep.
that. So
And it's not the stuff that we use is actually roasted Purple Heart. And so if you didn't know that, I hope I'm not
which
spilling
is
the beans.
crazy. Yeah. Well,
Well, you think about it though,
It'll get
Purple
out
Heart is
sooner
Purple Heart's
or later.
cheap in comparison to
yeah, but you wouldn't think,
rosewood.
I would think that wood would get more purple.
Oh, I see what you mean.
'Cause,
Yeah,
you
or
machine
dark
it, and
brown.
yeah. Doesn't it go kind of brown when you start machining on it?
And when it
then as
oxidizes, sometimes,
it
yeah.
gets purple again.
Mhm.
So, and then if you dry it out, it gets black.
Yeah,
That's
Well,
cool.
because but you're not just
Mother
drying it out;
Nature.
you're actually
Drying.
cooking
It's
it.
crazy.
Yeah, you're actually cooking.
Yeah, you're baking it.
Well, yeah.
It's
but-
sort of like a cookie.
yeah. So shouldn't it just get darker purple?
Yeah.
What if you tore off a grimace?
Hey
What
man,
colors he
it gets
turn?
so it's well actually
Or
okay
Barney.
Chris, it does get darker purple. In fact, it's so dark it's black. That's how dark of a purple it is.
It's like like Barney the dinosaur. You
Mhm.
torrefy him, you get oil.
That's right. Okay, so Butch Stuart McDonald has that stuff, but
Now it
it's
makes
not
sense.
called Black Kingwood. I don't know what it's. I've been calling it the wrong thing, and I just kept doing it.
We like coming up with names for wood. I couldn't remember the it was Black Leary.
Black
is what
Leary.
we got today.
Was-
Brian
yep.
brought in some
really sweet Black Leary. That's
Yeah.
right.
which is popular.
Curtis Chavez says, "Made in America. Number one, big corporations bought the biggest U.S. guitar makers, dropping quality and wages while keeping high prices. 2, CNC leveled playing field. 3, internet killed mystery of guitar making." So I think Curtis is talking about like how do you completely revolutionize guitar making. I'm coming back to my I embraced the CNC machine a lot more than I thought I ever would.
Yeah.
And the more I use it, the more I'm like, no, I still like doing the hand built stuff. It just costs more,
Yeah.
What say you, Chris? So you've been on this journey with me almost the entire time, and
Yeah. Hand built stuff I think is cooler. CNC is easier, especially for a big manufacturer, or even for a medium manufacturer or a small manufacturer that makes a lot of the same thing. Now, if you're a one-off guy, you make lots of different things, maybe not, but there's some consistency there. It's a whole other skill set. It's not like you buy a CNC machine and hit play. It's not a DVD. But it's I mean, there's something about putting your hands on the thing you're working on and working through all the progress that's really cool.
How much of it, there are some people that say you should buy the guitar, not the story.
Yeah.
Usually that applies to like vintage stuff or unless there's paperwork documenting that, Jimi Hendrix pissed on this amp. If it's just the story of that happened
over and over,
well, even one time.
Okay.
But if you can't prove it, you should buy the guitar, not the story.
Yeah.
But there's something about what if you knew that Seymour Duncan actually wound that pickup? And what if you could prove that Paul Reed Smith built that guitar, or, not the company, the man? Wouldn't that be cooler than not? Okay.
Absolutely.
Another Uncle Matt story. Here's how Paul Reed Smith could completely revolutionize the industry. How much do you think? Okay, a Paul Reed Smith Made in America one is what, like $3,000? I just ballpark. Let's say $3,000 for the classic.
Okay.
The classic one that they've been making forever.
Okay.
Now, what about the ones from the custom shop? They're probably 10, 20 grand. What if Paul Reed Smith himself was guaranteed to at least do most of the work on one of those?
Yeah.
Even if the work was to go boop to the CNC machine and then watch it and, pull the piece out and put it in and do all that stuff. If he did that, how much would that guitar be worth? Because as much as I hate to say stuff like this, he's not going to be around for forever. Leo Fender isn't here anymore. And a lot of people have manufactured stories, or there actually are stories of these guitars. Okay. Abigail Ibarra, we met her at the Woodwire and Volt show. It's way cooler to have an Abigail Ibarra pickup than to have not an Abigail Ibarra pickup, because she's a known, thing. It's way cooler for me to have a Dylan pickup than to have a pickup that was wound by Larry DiMarzio's CNC machine at some company and something. And I love DiMarzio's, but Dylan is our
you're buying
friend.
the story.
What do you mean?
I mean, you're buying the story. You're buying the.
But I can prove the story that Dylan wound the pickups.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
I could. So if you could prove that Paul Smith did something, even if we went, yep, there you go. Okay, that's probably not enough.
Yeah,
but
it has to be. Well, for one thing, they would document these things. It's like when Eddie Van Halen painted all those guitars.
There you go. Perfect. Yeah.
And I have no idea what those went for. It was way too much, probably.
And it's got to be more now.
Was way too much then. Yeah. So what do you think the proper number for? Let's say that he does a series. Let's say he does a run of 30. Okay, and he does some fretwork and some assembly.
Yep.
And has his picture taken with each one.
Okay.
What's that guitar cost?
$50,000.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah.
And that's got they would be
minutes.
Sold out before a single one was ever made.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
Okay. Let's go to the comment section and see what you guys think. First of all, Dan Andreda says, "Hey, congratulations, Sir David, on double digits for workshops." Lefty says, "You are caramelizing the sugar, sin, the wood." Yeah, I know. I'm just reading. Hey, I'm reading it, man. A lot of people, okay, yeah, everyone's just talking amongst themselves. So yeah. Okay, so we right now we've fixed two of the big three guitar companies, how they're going to completely revolutionize guitars.
Okay.
If I guess this would all be would all mean that I would have to be the CEO of all these companies. So I would have to be Gibson CEO and PRS CEO.
Okay.
How could I fix Fender? I don't really know that much about Fender.
Yeah.
So Chris,
I
you're
don't
going to have to be CEO of
I
Fender.
really don't know that much about him either. And I think that I like Fender. No, I know a lot about old Fender, but I don't know anything about new Fender.
Okay.
And I think the funny thing is, let's just say it's my favorite guitar brand.
Okay. I mean, I would think it would at the very most be your second favorite guitar brand, but okay.
I don't. They don't care about the buyer. They don't care about. I mean, they care about the buyer because they want buyers to buy stuff.
Yeah.
But they don't care about the buyer.
Okay.
They're not. It's a big giant corporation with a bunch of investors who demand a return. So
yeah. Oh,
so,
God bless you, Chris.
Oh, you're not showing off a T-shirt?
He ain't got no T-shirt. We need to get Chris a T-shirt.
And he's handing out Coors.
Yeah.
When it's blue, that means it's cold enough that you can't taste it.
But anyway, yeah. I mean, Fender's not my friend.
Okay.
They're a company that wants to sell me stuff, and that's fine.
Okay.
But yeah, I have no idea.
I think the Fender
What
custom
could
shop
you
should
do?
be like the only Fender.
The only Fender, yeah.
I mean, how many? Gosh, there are so many things coming out of the Fender custom shop right now that like it's basically USA Fenders are more or less the Fender custom shop.
Yeah.
So I don't.
Yeah, I don't know. Everybody chases that low dollar thing.
Yeah.
And I think that's a mistake for a lot of companies. I think they sort of hurt all their other stuff by doing that kind of thing. But I understand why they do it.
Mm-hmm.
So I talked about Gibson's. To Gibson's credit, they have never really had a Gibson that's been made someplace else.
Yeah.
To Fender's credit, they have a whole other brand, and so does Gibson. But they're upping that whole Squire game, and those guitars just keep getting more and more expensive and replacing.
Yeah.
But they recently introduced some Indonesian Fender guitars.
So they don't say
is the
Squire
first.
on them. They say
No,
they say
but
Fender.
they're built basically in the same place. So
Mhm.
so that's kind of lame, and I think that sort of sullies all the other guitars.
I mean, you might be right.
In a lot of ways. So yeah.
Driddle says that Mustache Matt is the best Matt. God bless you.
Don't egg him on.
It's coming in, and I think in another couple weeks it's going to be.
It's really going to be something.
It's really going to be something.
You're going to really have something to talk about.
Yeah, you're going to want a mustache rag. So the soul patch though is so white that you can't see it. It's like, why is it there?
It just looks like
it's just extra fun. Like
your chin looks blurry.
Hey,
yeah.
Maybelline, baby.
Yeah, I guess I'm gonna get some mascara and like make it thick and rich, and yeah. Vinny asked, "What's in this tub?"
That's a country band.
Thick and rich.
Yeah.
Vinny asked, "What's in this tub?" And I'm glad he did because. So
it's not pomade.
Hold on. So wait, Joe, really hold on. I'm going to answer this when Joe comes back because I'm going to try to sell you guys some of this stuff when you get back here. So anyway, yeah, I think handlebars would be reasonably cool. Here's the problem.
You're going to have a hard time getting there in 2 weeks.
Well, in 2 weeks, yeah, but you know what?
Handlebars.
You don't have to marginalize my.
I'm not marginalizing.
Yeah, you don't have to trivialize.
What I'm saying is, you got to quit trimming it.
I'm not trimming it.
Except you're trimming it right there.
Oh, well, no.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I'm not cutting it like here.
No, but I mean, you need to.
You have to let it grow. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's a fade.
Yeah,
it can be short, long.
long. Yeah. I'm not sure if you know what my shaving regimen actually includes, but yeah.
I think it includes very little.
Thank you. It does. Come on,
shaver.
Joe, get back here.
Yeah.
So anyway, Vinny asked what's in this this tub here, and it is the Texas Toasted candle that we have made for us, and it smells exactly like me. Isn't that nice? Just like me.
Smells like your basement, but it doesn't smell like you.
So for guys, if you have
Because
ladies,
the basement has a bunch of these in it.
yeah, if you have ladies who are waiting for you, eagerly anticipating your return home, and you brought this smelling good candle back with you, I would say that your chances of getting to come back, if you brought back something that smelled this good, go up astronomically.
Yeah.
And it greatly increases your chances of scoring.
So if I put them on my front porch, you think that'll help?
I think it would, Brian. I really do. So anyway, no, it smells like it smells like woody, amber, vanilla, leather, and musk. It smells good. I love these things. They're awesome. You know who else loves these? Actually, probably even more than me and Joy put together is Jay Valenti.
Oh, Jay, I was going to say Gary Redburn likes them too.
I know Gary likes them, but Jay's like, I got to get like more of those. I burn them all day, and I would imagine that Jay's house smells like this candle all the time. So yeah,
it does actually smell very nice.
That's right. That's right. It's Driddle says it's pure machismo. That's what's in here. Mustache clippings and leather.
Gross.
No, there's no mustache clippings.
Gross.
Ron says that, hey, Matt and Chris, I'm super happy with my guitar. Ron, that is terrific news. I'm glad to hear that, my friend. Okay, so let's we've got about 15 more minutes to completely revolutionize the guitar industry. I've got one from left field, Chris.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. Guitar contests. Annual guitar contests. And ours is going to be, get ready, mark your calendars, September 6th at Odyssey Beer Works, the Great American Beer Works.
A return.
Triumphant return. Right?
After a year away.
Uh-huh.
By popular demand.
Back by popular demand.
Mostly Matt and Chris don't want to clean the shop.
That's right.
What are the rules, Matt?
Oh, I'm glad you asked what the rules are, Brian. The rules are there are no rules. So this year,
Best guitar.
That's you and I are judging this year too.
Oh, you are.
Yes, we are.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
So I haven't even decided if there's going to be any celebrity judges, but I know this much: Chris and I will be judging your guitar this year. So
probably harshly.
Get ready to hear a lot of AC/DC rhythm licks and surf.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. I've always wanted to judge one of these, but I've never wanted to judge them, if you know what I mean.
Uh-huh.
The other thing is there's no you can only spend $400. It has to weigh exactly 101 or 99 ounces. There's none of that stuff. It's just build whatever guitar you want and be prepared to be judged by Matt and Chris and probably some other judges. Anthony Icavangelo is always up for it.
Always ready. Yeah.
Mike Learn and Don DeMasi are always good ones if they're available. Maybe we can do it.
Brian this year. I forget what his deal was last year that he couldn't do it.
I think he had some sand in his butthole or something.
Oh
yeah, that's right.
Yeah. That wouldn't have slowed me down.
Nope.
I'd have participated and judged.
I can't imagine that Jimmy won't be available for some of that stuff.
Possibly. Yeah.
I can't imagine that Brett Hagen, Jeff LaQuatra. I guarantee you there will be a panel of celebrity judges or just Chris and myself.
So the first year we had a bunch of people that were going to judge and a bunch of them dropped out, and we had two guys and some dude showed up
and I'm like, hey, do you want to
be a judge? You know how to play guitar? Yeah. You want to be a judge? Sure.
That's
right.
That's
how we did the first year. But yeah, I'll be a judge. Sure. Why not?
Oh, you're doing it. Yeah.
My criteria is way different than everybody else's, by the way.
Curtis says that his earlier comment was meant to illustrate a few factors that killed the value of made in USA guitar. I get you, Curtis. I agree. Blue Mox, Chris, Matt, hello, my friend. Solaris Moon says he's down for it right now, painting an X-Wing fighter. Don asks, going to a guitar shop / factory and making an instrument of your own with guidance from professionals is the new hotness. Don, I couldn't agree more. We are not Fender Gibson PRS.
Right.
but we do open our doors and bring people in for a week and help them make a guitar.
Yeah, yeah, and there's something really, really cool, and I know what it is about making your own guitar and then playing your own guitar.
Yeah.
It's really, really neat.
And normal, okay, so there's probably some people out there that are going, Matt, this is exactly the kind of thing that Chris says, and you're like, call him out on it because, well, what exactly do you mean when you say, I know what it is, but you don't say, I know exactly what you mean because you've built your own guitar for the last 20 years. You've been building your own guitars. And
So, and it's, I mean, I know every quirk, I know every single thing about it, and I can do things, but just the idea that I did this, I think this is really, really neat, and it plays great, and I did it. That's really, really fun.
Totally.
And there's lots of things. I cooked this hamburger, and it's the best hamburger I've ever had.
I made some good burgers this weekend.
And really whatever it is, it's really, really rewarding to do that. So.
One more thing, Chris's mystery workshop. I fell in love immediately with the idea of Chris's mystery workshop when you kind of off the cuff said it. And people are sending me all kinds of emails asking me questions about it. And I'm like, frankly, I don't know. You should just come out and do it. Spots are filling fast. Can you give anybody, can you tell something a little bit more about Chris's mystery workshop and how it's going to completely revolutionize the guitar industry?
Revolutionize the guitar building during class idea.
The whole shoot match, buddy.
So the original idea was
didn't you take inspiration from our friend Carlos at Castadosa Guitars?
I did, yeah. And build something familiar but different. And basically it's requiring you to come up with a new body shape that it can be similar to something, but you can't use one of the many templates that we have. Or, if you come and it's a Strat, we're going to say, no, you have to do something else. And so the idea was just building something unique and different. The original idea was everybody was going to get a paddle headstock, and they'd have to come up with a new headstock design, and they'd have to come up with some, body shape that's different, and just build something.
And then we decided, let's just make it
unique.
Less money, and we're going to give you the
decided,
body.
You can it bring a neck, and if it has a Fender headstock, that's fine. If it has a paddle headstock and you do something to it, that's fine, whatever. But just the idea of coming up with something new and different and unique, but that you think other people might want to actually play, not just you.
Tazzy Tim says, can international entries be possible? Tazzy Tim, absolutely,
yes.
Positively,
we always allow, you can ship a guitar to us and we will put it in the contest, and then we'll figure out, you get to pay to ship it back too. But yeah, we'll get it back to you. Yeah, with the entry fee.
Curtis says, are electric sitars off limits? Curtis, I can't tell you this any other way. There are no rules for this contest.
For the contest?
Yeah.
You'll lose if you build a sitar.
It is likely you will, but
I have no idea how a sitar should even play.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's right. The entry fee is $100, and the prize is a fat stack of cash. Ask the past guys who won.
Well,
that. Yeah. So here's how it breaks. I forgot. I should have told you guys this. I thought everybody knew this. So here's how we work it. The entry fee is $100. If there are 20 people that enter, the guy who comes in first, based on the points added up with the scorecards that are given to the judges, that the guy who has the most points wins $2,000.
Yep, all of it.
All $2,000 of it.
Yeah, yep. Not service fees deducted. All of it.
If there are 1,000 people that enter, how much could they win?
$100 million.
$100,000. Wouldn't that be something?
I was told there'd be no math.
Yeah, that's right. So Driddle won like one
He
year he
won
won like
2,300
$2,600 or
Yeah,
something.
20
Yeah.
23 or 24. Yeah, something like
Mhm.
a lot of money.
Now my prediction is that if I don't have some stupid rule, people are going to be like, I don't know. There's too many. I don't have enough parameters. But every
You
time I
think?
had a stupid rule, people always bitched and whined and bellyache about the stupid rules.
The $400 one was fun. That was the one that was the most entries we've had. I think there were 21 guitars and $2,400.
Yeah.
There were a couple guys that just didn't quite finish.
Sean Emenheiser won like $1,500 one
first
time.
year. Yeah, that first year that we did
Yep.
it, that was 1,400, I think.
Yep.
And last year was 12 or 1,300.
Mhm.
So yeah, I mean, I'd like to think, $1,000. And you learn a lot and you get to spend a lot of quality time in your shop.
Here's the other cool thing. You don't have to sell your guitar.
No,
you get to keep your guitar,
and
which
you get
is
to come to Colorado.
And Solaris Moon is talking. He's like, send it to us and we'll smash it. Why on earth would you say that?
No smash.
Don't say anything like that. That's not cool. That's totally uncool. We've never damaged anyone's guitar and we never will.
No.
So yeah, don't even say
no,
that. Yeah.
no.
So anyhow, yeah. So Driddle says that he liked the rules, and here's what I predict.
Well, it puts you in a space. Yeah.
When it's just completely ruleless, I think that people are gonna there's not enough parameters, and they're gonna not do it. Is what I predict.
You think?
That's what I think. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, all you have to do is build the coolest guitar ever. So yeah.
Well, so the $400 one was fun because you couldn't overwhelm people with expensive hardware, right? And so that forced people to actually make good guitars. Now I think there's people that will think I can just put all the best hardware on a marginal guitar and win this thing because it has all the name brand stuff. You start and that won't do it. You still have to build a cool guitar, right?
Yeah.
And last year,
here's the other thing. You still have to have built a cool guitar, because I don't care if you built the guitar 10 years ago. Enter it. That's fine. I don't care.
Yeah. There's no categories. Oh, as far as judging,
there are
there's
judging
lots. I think
parameters.
there's 10 or 11 parameters.
marketability,
Yeah.
craftsmanship,
Finish. Yeah. Craftsmanship. Yeah. Originality. Sex appeal.
Yep.
Yeah.
What's
How
that?
many?
manufacturability.
Yeah, absolutely.
How many
Marketability
chicks
and
can I pick up with this
manufacturability is the
guitar?
thing.
Yeah.
So there are no rules, but the judging parameters are still the same. You could go to Guitar Center and buy a Strat and enter it. You won't win, but you could do it. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it's fun.
All right. So anyway,
you could enter your SG.
you could. All of you could enter your SG.
Yeah, I would encourage you to do so.
All right. Well, let's get out of here. We've got a bunch of stuff to do tonight. And I urge all of you guys to go over to Dylan Talks Tone and hang out with Dylan and his lovely wife, Leslie, unless you're coming over to my place, and which we can put that on there too. Oh, Dina can come too? No, Chris is just going to come. Okay, good. All right. And we will see you guys tomorrow for a very, very cool reveal.
Very special reveal.
A bunch of SGs. Why are they cool, Chris?
Because we made them.
I was hoping that you'd say because they have a feature that
Neck throughs.
they are neck through SGs. That's right. They have a feature that is very uncommon on that guitar. So we will see you guys tomorrow for that. Have a great night, everybody. We'll talk to you soon.
Yay.